Josh, this is Olive. She is 4 years old. They've had her since she was 5 months old, and they said she is extremely stubborn. She does not listen. She pulls really hard on the leash. She does not come when called. She cannot be off leash, and she is just very obstinate, extremely obstinate.
So how do they get her to like move around? Or
Prong collar by force. Big old 3.0
so how
prong
long have you been
collar.
like this for?
Years.
Really? Years of it.
Years. The owner said Olive used to listen better to her ex-boyfriend than her. And we did board her a weekend a couple weeks ago, and she was extremely stubborn for me. Didn't want to go in her crate, didn't want to come back in, didn't want to go out.
Simply
Basically, she wants to do the opposite of everything you ask her.
Well, that's a good, let's talk about that because, see how she just lay down right there? Because she wanted to lay down?
Yeah,
If I were to ask her to lay down.
she wouldn't do it.
And so that brings us to the, one of her core issues. It's obviously with authority, you know that. But in order to enter that authoritative conversation, you're telling her what to do or you're telling her what not to do. As soon as she sees that type of language being used, she says, this is what I do. I don't listen. These are my behaviors to get out of having to listen. Why would a dog do that, you would think? You say, why would a dog do that? But naturally, whoever's starting to be able to take control in that way is going to end up being the leader, which in their mind is the one who has first access to all the resources and stuff. So they don't want to give that up. They do it with each other. They don't give it up for free, okay? So when she was a puppy, she was going to do the same thing. She was always, many of them do. They're going to, a lot of people call it testing the boundaries. They're just going to not listen because it's a hierarchical conversation, okay? So she's been successful with it for a long time because she's at least 4.
Yeah,
right?
she's 4.
So.
Yep. And this heavy panting, like,
Right.
she did that the entire boarding weekend in her kennel.
Right, because she's
Yes.
not home.
Yep.
And think about she's 4, she's probably doesn't have the exposure that a normal dog would to the world because she's so not good
Yeah, they
at
can't-
behaving, they can't take her anywhere.
Right.
So she only knows her living room more than likely.
Right.
And so she's here, she sees all these other dogs who are me and you, stress,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But something tells me that there's still an anxiety of sorts probably even at home.
Yep.
It is, it seems like she's probably, I think
Yeah,
what
she's
happens-
got paw issues,
Right, you see
allergies,
this
yeah.
very common with anxious dogs. The paws end up having issues.
Inflamed.
They'll have rashes. They'll have loose stools and stuff.
Yep,
One
she came with
thing
probiotics.
Right. Once the anxiety goes away, all of a sudden magically there's no allergies to the paws
Right.
and there's no the stools stop. Because what happens is if we don't become leader by earning that position, then she's going to assume she is. So she has to worry about the comings and goings of the house, what decisions to make, and it's a constant battle whenever you're trying to have her do something. So there's that certain layer of stress because she's not really designed to lead in the human's world. She needs a human leader to be successful. And so it leaves them stressed when a human hasn't claimed and maintained the leadership position. So when dogs meet, they have a ritual. You'll notice it. They get right down to business, right? They're talking about hierarchy almost immediately, or they are immediately,
Yeah.
right? And there's different avenues. You can do it through, protecting your sniffing, like don't let a dog sniff me, but I sniff you. That's one way. Humping, guarding objects around just to be able to have that conversation to sort it out. They're very interested in that. When a human learns to read those things and when a dog's throwing you that kind of shade, how to respond in order to use it as an opportunity to gain that leadership position and maintain it, a dog stops testing those boundaries, right? They decide, they'll see you as higher up in the hierarchy, right? And then you gotta follow her. I mean, you need training, you need that too, but relationship is, if there was a steak on the ground, is she gonna get it or am I gonna get it? And we're both starving, right? Right now, she probably thinks she's gonna get it because she thinks probably humans are pretty soft animals. They're not like dogs, they're not gonna correct me over stuff. They're not gonna follow through. In fact, if I just don't listen and act like I don't hear you and use my body weight, that works.
I win.
I win, and that's all I gotta do, right? So, we always, good girl.
Recall, #1 goal.
That's great, because we always start with the recall, because we believe the recall is the number one most important thing.
She gets to go to her parents' property, and poor Olive cannot be given any freedom because
They got a property?
she cannot be off leash.
Listen, this is difficult, okay? The type of breed is more difficult than the average dog, right? And what I mean by that is, most every dog, you have to have these conversations. You have to tell them what not to do and what to do, and most of them submit to your authority easier than a power breed, right, or a bully breed. So that's why a lot of people say you need to be experienced, right? You need to be experienced with being able to maintain the hierarchy and claiming the right position in the hierarchy with this type of dog. The reason I talk like that is because that's how they seem to be operating. Once I earn that position, she treats me different, her responses are different. Good. So I'm just letting her get to know me, letting her get to sniff me.
Good girl.
I try to have a positive or neutral experience before we start the training.
Yep.
I try to make it positive, and sometimes the dog doesn't really want anything to do with me, and if I can just keep it neutral. But she's letting me pet her.
Let her explore the room.
Let her do what she's gonna do, and then we'll start with the recall. And now, listen, dogs aren't dumb. Once they realize the recall, they quickly realize that the recall is control. And so the fight isn't because they don't understand what you're saying, it's because they don't want to give up that control, just like they won't let another dog hump them. Not only is it unpleasant, but if they let them hump them, then that means you're agreeing for them having first access to the resources, right? So if a dog does feel like, hey, you're above me, I'll let you hump me. We don't let humping, by the way, but this is just what they do. Then he's agreeing that when there's a stake there, you get it first, right? It's kind of like that. So they can see the commands like that, right? Especially if I don't grab something they want and try to entice them. Hey, do this for me, and I'll give you this. We're going down the conversation that we're gonna need in life, which is when you're my dog, right? I need you to understand that living with me, there's just one rule. You just need to listen.
That's it. And that's the only thing she does not do.
And that's the only thing. And then we'll provide you with the house, the love, the inclusion in our life, the toys, the beds, the food. You just need to listen. And listening means stop when we say stop and do when we say do. And the cool thing is these commands are very simple. So if a dog's trying to listen, they pick it up like this. They don't want to listen because they don't want to give up control, okay? I think the owner of this dog probably understands that and is frustrated because she understands this dog knows what she's saying, but this dog does not care to listen, right? And why is because she's designed, you can't just ask to be the leader, like, I want to lead you right now, right? You have to earn it and prove it to them, and then they will honestly they will listen to you. It's kind of incredible. So that's what I'm going to work on here. We're going to work on the recall, but whatever comes up, it's all going to be just attitude, we call it, because she doesn't want to submit to authority, because that means that she doesn't have her free will at all times. But hey, if you want your free will at all times, go live in the wild and kill your own food and sleep on the dirt. You're in somebody's house, they're taking care of you, they're showing you love. We need you to understand that. But here's the thing, she doesn't get it like that. All she gets is that if you successfully correct and direct, the brain will just rewire their responses. Her associated responses right now are all terrible, but she can learn coping skills, AKA the commands, and a nice state of mind, to then, that's her alternative. Instead of giving them the fight, because that's a version of fight. Holding still and doing this and ignoring is fighting authority. The next step would be getting physical, right? Maybe biting. They also will run away. Just anything to not submit to the authority. We see it all. And that's how their brains are designed. Many, many, many dogs are like this, okay? So, I would say 90, maybe 99%, maybe 100. I don't want to say 100, I don't want to be absolute, but it feels like every single dog this is the issue. On top of maybe other bad stuff, anxiety, biting, certain specific behaviors, but really it just comes down to they're not committed to following a human. They don't have a human that they listen to no matter what. If they have that, they won't see us.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is why, and I don't want to make this too long, but I do want, this is very important. This is why when we get a dog, if we get them young, we don't want to waste our time just playing, and next thing you know, 2 years went by, and I'm like, what'd you do? Oh, we just had fun, and then now things are terrible. That's our opportunity to create the hierarchy. It's so much easier to do it with a puppy than it is a full-grown adult who's been bossing people around and doing what they want for years, having success, seeing human beings as a lower species in some ways. Yeah. You know, because I bet she has more respect for Riggins when I bring him down here than she does for me after that, you know what I mean? And so that's not good for her to see. It's not good for her to see humans that way. So we'll be role models of what humans, how she should view humans, and then the owner can step into that position as leader. Okay? But we gotta pave the road because right now it's just a jungle and it's very thick and dangerous, and we have to make our way through there so that it's nice and smooth. So we're gonna start with the recall. Okay? Olive, come.
Wow, good girl.
Good girl.
Every time she walks away, it starts
Olive,
again.
come here, baby. That's my girl. Right
Good.
there. You say with me, I think you're doing great. Good. That's very good.
So then we can also build a stay.
And
because
you know,
she'll stay.
I have an advantage of not being the owner, so I don't have. So maybe sometimes they do listen easier, maybe because they don't know me, so that you know. And then what you see is that maybe they'll act up in like 2 weeks a little bit more because they feel comfortable. So it could be a little bit of that kind of stuff going on. But I'm rewarding it and I'm saying that I appreciate that, you know. She's stressed, but she's stressed because she understands options are being closed and she's not.
Wow.
Wow.
Good girl.
That's a level of submission right there. What I like about this way of doing it, getting that calm, relaxing that down, is I didn't recall her to me and then say down or sit. I just said, we're just talking about the recall. Just come here, and I don't even say stay in the beginning necessarily. They walk away, it's a correction to recall. They understand the recall means to stay until you're released. And then now we'll produce relaxation, which will produce sits and downs. And then we say we really like that. So they start giving us that, and then we can just kind of name it is a nice approach to take. But you'll notice, if I were to tell her to down, she might say, Mom,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to because
Because you
she's
said
less."
so.
But that is the core issue. Everything on top of that is a symptom. This is amazing.
This is
She's regular.
incredible.
Good girl. Good girl. Break.
We can also start
That's
teaching
good.
her the release words,
Yes,
which
that's
is
a good
great.
deal. Wow. Oh, baby, that is incredible. I love it. So, she's a 4-week dog.
Yep.
So, she's got a little bit of rehab to be done. So when, obviously this is not good, the panting. It's not hot in here, it's chilly in here actually.
Yeah.
And so it's not chilly, but it's like, it's good. Definitely not hot. So this is stress. This is stress from, it's anxiety from all the options she's thinking about. When I let her out in the yard, she's thinking about, can I climb over that fence? Where's the door out of here? What's that door do? What's this door do? What can I do to run away so I can keep my independence if I need to? Where's my exits, right? As she commits more, that means she's not making her own decisions, right? She's allowing me to tell her when, where, and how. She won't have to think about it. So
Wow.
that literally is just spinning in her head of just like non-commitment ideas like that door to say, so.
Good girl. She's really trying.
But this is a great beginning. Another reward she's getting is that I'm not hammering her with reps. That's stressful when you're near, like, because we're using aversive, right? And so what I'm showing her is that they only come when you go into certain mode in your mind or choose certain behaviors. If you're being cool, I'm going really light on the expectation. I'm not expecting you to recall 10 times in the next 3 minutes. We're gonna casually get to the next one, but generally it's because she does something that even she knows she shouldn't be doing, and then we get a recall. So she can see that if she's not doing these things that we don't like, which is trying to keep her independence and trying to not listen to the authority, yeah, I'm just letting her hang out, right? But as soon as she goes into that mode, that's when we're gonna introduce the aversive on the e-collar at a low level, that we can come up into higher levels, more aversive sensations, if she starts to be more absent, right? Throw more attitude at us. So she's learning, if I keep my attitude good and I just try, this is totally cool. If I start to give attitude and buck the system, it gets worse and worse as I do that. So she stops bucking the system, she starts listening, and then she learns really quick, and then she gets some skills under her belt, and she gets more freedom, and she understands this is the good life. The other life is never, never land. And it seems fun, but it's really
Stressful.
and it's really not good. So she's gonna actually learn that it feels so good to fall. Okay? Good.
Wow.
Good. Some vibrating here. We'll see this for a little bit. We'll probably see this for a week or so.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more. Good. In certain situations. Good, Gail. Break.
Yay! She doesn't know the release word because they've never been able to hold her in a command.
That's true. Good point. Good girl. And see my posture and stuff. This is just the training process. This is just the building the relationship in the beginning. Good girl. Okay, so we'll let the dog down here and see how she does. We'll let Ricky down first.
Rig.
Immediate interest. Immediate interest. Great. Very nice.
She wants to go sniff him.
Very good.
Good girl.
That's amazing. Amazing. So
He
she
likes
sat
it.
on her own, and she kind of let the situation be. She did want to sniff him, but she showed him some respect. Alright. Let's Sparky in here. Sparky! Come on in, Sparky.
Come on, Sparky.
You got it. Sparky free. Wait, good girl. Good girl. What does she do throughout the day? She relaxes probably most of the time.
Sunbathes.
Is there like, there's
She
like,
probably-
I don't know if you know this answer. Is there like something big that she's like, I really do nothing but when that mailman comes? Or
Oh,
something like
I don't
that?
know. I'll have to look back on her form.
Yeah, good. She does strike me as a dog who doesn't do much, but she must have some type of outlet.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what that is for her. I mean, every dog has something.
Yeah.
Even if it's just running around the house at 7 o'clock or
Yeah.
something. You know? So, good. This is good.
Yeah.
I guess what we're gonna do now is a little bit, I guess a more difficult recall. I'll let her outside.
Yeah.
And then I'll recall her in and see how she does. So far, so good. Good girl. All right, guys. Break.
Yay.
Yeah, if a dog doesn't listen inside, they generally don't listen outside. But what we find is outside is always generally worse, don't you think?
Yes.
Typically.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hence why they don't let her off a leash outside.
Oh yeah, no, that's smart because she's not gonna listen at all.
No.
I'll try to recall out here, see if it's
Mhm.
good. See where it's at.
Look,
Well,
looking up,
yeah,
seeing
she's
how high the
looking up.
fence is. Can I get over this fence?
If this was a 2-foot fence, she would have already
Gone.
tried to leave it. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not very loyal. It's the lack of loyalty that's I think is the most.
Yeah,
concerning.
she's been with her owner 4 years and can't be let off leash.
Yeah. That loyalty is really
Gone.
Yeah. But you know, loyalty is learned. She'll learn how to be loyal and learn the benefits of being loyal, and then that'll just become her default setting. Because dogs aren't thinking all the time; they just acquire responses that work and then put them on repeat when that situation comes up. So once she learns better responses,
Good
that's really-
girl.
Go potty. That's good.
Go potty.
That's good. And so I set up a situation here where I can recall and she understands exactly why I'm recalling. She's like, oh yeah, we're going inside. And then if she decides not to listen, she knows exactly what's going on. So there's no clarity. We like to use, or there's no confusion. So we set up context, a situation where they know what's going on, it makes sense. And it just seems to be,
She puts herself in the farthest corner of the yard.
this is a good time to do it. Okay, Olive, come. Now watch, I go and know what she's gonna come in, what she's gonna do. Good, yeah.
Wow.
All right, Olive, come on. Yeah, hello.
Nope, not
Now,
committing
see,
yet.
Pressure is turned on right now. Come here.
Wow.
Good. Another thing that I'm sensing from her, she doesn't like to close this gap fully,
Yeah.
right? I think that maybe, you know, also it's commitment, but also we go to grab a leash. So it's
collar.
like you get her close, and then you go snatch.
Yeah, could
That's
be.
a common thing. So we see like that lack of, there's not respect enough to close the distance, because that means she has to listen, and then also possibly trust, because she doesn't know if I'm, now she's, good.
Take your scent.
Good. She took my scent. It's a relevance, for relevance, right? She said, this guy's relevant, boom, 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 sniff, looked at my face, good. She said, I'm gonna remember him. This is all, we see this over and over again, it's good signs. So new environment now, new person and stuff, so she's learning new responses. The old responses aren't working, so the brain's now open for new ones, and she said that one worked. And so she's documented that as a response that worked, which means she's gonna try it again, right? Good. Break.
Yay,
That was
Olive.
That was amazing, girl. Good job. Sometimes at the end of the session, if they're doing well, but I can still see the stress, we might just
Ooh, she's bumping the nose in that door. See what's in that door.
come. Well, that's an opportunity to give a recall.
There you go.
Come here. Come here. That's brilliant. The pressure's been on since she's been at the door. See, she's not closing.
No.
Come here. Good.
Good girl.
That's all.
Well, we can tell how she gets indoors at home. She bumped it like she was gonna open it.
Yeah. And that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Good.
Like a great white shark.
Yeah. It's just like, let me in this door.
Yeah.
And that, if she's able to do that, and then you come over and open the door.
Open it? Yeah.
You just said that you're lost. Which is why she doesn't have to listen.
Right.
So she's like, oh, I don't have to listen to you. So she literally never will. Good. You literally have to like make them realize that listening is the best way through the
Yeah.
situation, and then they just start listening all the time. Good. Good. All right. So that was really a rude thing she did. So it was an opportunity for a recall, just like I said before. If she does something that even she knows is probably rude, it's a great time to correct and then direct. So she did that. I corrected first. I recalled. Good. Good. Break.
Nice work.
And I will let her in.
Yes.
Come on, baby. So let's see. This is obviously a resource right now because it's something she wants or needs. She wants to go through this door. So we know, we've read her motivation. So if I tell her to stay, and she goes, she's 4 years old, she knows what stay means.
Yeah.
She does.
She definitely knows what it means.
100%.
Now, does she listen? No.
Sparky. Sparky came, and she had a handle on this stuff. You know, she knew stay and stuff. She just doesn't listen. The basic stuff, a lot of dogs can get it. They understand to stay. They understand when you're recalling them. And also, we'll be able to tell if she's confused. But 9 out of 10 times, none of these dogs are confused for something like this. They understand that they just, because watch how I do it. But it's very obvious. If you can make things obvious, then they move along a lot quicker. Confusion is going to be our enemy in dog training. Okay? Alright, so watch how clear this is, okay? I have run into that. I said stay.
That's not stay.
And so she doesn't correct it. Come back out with a recall. Okay? Good.
Good
Watch, she's
girl.
not stressed about that because she knows what happened.
Yes.
If she just didn't understand what happened and then the pressure hit, turned on, and then she gets confused, that's where you'll see an issue. Good. Watch this.
Now she'll learn. This is putting context to a stay.
Well, it's like contacts, baby. We do it all the time. It helps them so much understand how to use the commands. The commands become the coping skill, and they start choosing it without us having to tell them to do it. Okay? Stay. Good. Good. She's ready for that release. I could release right now, but I gotta undo this. Break.
Nice work.
And there you go. So this is a
All
nice
right.
beginning. She's learning. I've already seen what the owner's dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
She's being a little better for me, but I think it's just because she knows it's a new place and stuff. So, but we'll work on that. We'll get her settled in her kennel, and then
Love it.
tomorrow, same thing.